Of course. Well, you're into so many things these days. I know the Plant Pure company, I feel like at least, give us a little history, started off with the movie Plant Pure Nation, but you've developed it into a number of different initiatives and programs and even products, food. So let us know a little bit of the history and what's going on with the company.
All right, thanks, Mike. So there is a long history to this. It actually goes all the way back to my father, Dr. Colin Campbell, who many people know about. And because of him, I've been plant-based for a long time and been interested in trying to spread this message. And so a number of years ago, started working on a broad vision for how we could get this deeper into the mainstream. And I was working on that when the opportunity came along for us to make a film. And so I made a movie called PlantPure Nation, released in theaters in 2015 in over 100 cities. And then it went on Netflix. It's now on Amazon Prime and YouTube. That film included a call to action for people to form local support groups. We call these groups pods. And a lot of people answered that call that call to action. And we now have, gosh, I think maybe close to 500 pods, over 250,000 people are connected with these pods, and it continues to grow. And so after the film, I set up a nonprofit called PlantPure Communities. PlantPure Communities supports the pod network. Also doing some wonderful work in the area of climate advocacy, sort of trying to raise awareness of the food-climate connection. In addition, after the film, I kind of got back to work on the business part of this, because we had to create certain elements that were necessary to this larger vision I had. And so we focused on food and education. We also are getting ready to introduce something we've been working on for 3 years now. It's a new web-based platform that we've really built to help activate this pod network, to help engage the pod network in local initiatives to bring this message to more people. So we're getting ready to roll that out here sometime in the next few weeks. So we're excited about that too.
That's great. Going back to the movie, in case people haven't seen the movie, I guess I can give a little summary and say that it to me, when I saw it, it kind of struck me because it clearly explained how you can take control of your own health in a positive way by making the right food choices, and thereby, in many cases, if you've got a common disease such as high cholesterol, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, in most cases you can reverse it. And you explained all that in the movie, which I thought was wonderful.
Yes, we did. We explained really the power of this health message. My father was in the film, but it's also a story-driven documentary. So it wasn't just a documentary with a lot of kind of talking head experts and B-roll and nice music, but we actually created this story that we had to film as we went along. And it begins in Kentucky with the legislature, and then it circles back through North Carolina, through a small rural town called Mebane, which is where I live. And then then we go back to confront the legislature in Kentucky. So it's quite an interesting story that runs through the film.
Yeah, it is. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it was really well done. And I think it creates a powerful message to people about the importance of food, and like you were talking about, the legislature getting the governments involved, getting this knowledge out there so that people can live their best lives, really. And I think that I feel like you've done that too with the food, because I know that I've seen this PlantPure food in grocery stores like Publix, for instance, and they are, in my mind, the only real health option, I'd say, in terms of frozen dinner products, where you don't have to cook anything yourself, and it tastes really great. It's a great value, and let people know more about that, because I think that it's a newer product that you all have, and not that many people know about it yet.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We have put enormous effort into developing what is now 3 different food lines.
Okay.
We have frozen entrees, which we introduced online as a way to kind of get the brand out there and to introduce the brand. And we've got 15 entrees that we offer online. Our major focus, though, really is retail. And so we also have entrees in Publix, as you said, Harris Teeter, Shaw's, and we're talking to numerous other retailers as well. And so we've got 5 products in Publix. We also have gone through a lot of product development over the past year. So we've extended our retail line to 14 products, which includes 4 additional entrees and 5 breakfast products that we can offer to retailers. We also have created a food service line. So we have, 5-pound bags of food, sauce veggie mixtures that we could provide to food service locations like cafeterias, restaurants, and all of that. And then we have something that we're very close to finishing now. It's a meal starter line. And these are packs of dried ingredients that are all pre-measured and combined. And so all you have to do is add typically 1 wet ingredient and then some fresher frozen produce to quickly prepare a meal. And we did that specifically so that we could provide an option to folks who are living in kind of underserved areas, low-income communities, because this is the most affordable way to get a plant-based diet to people. And what we're going to do with that product line is when we're selling to people who are in the Medicaid program, we're going to waive 100% of our profit margin on those sales, so we can get these products to people as cheaply as possible. Now, what makes our entrees and our other products unique is that we use whole food ingredients.
All right.
We have no added oil. We have modest, low amounts of salt and sugar, and they taste great.
Yeah.
So our philosophy is to try to mimic, more traditional flavors and textures, things people are used to. So we're not trying to be, way outside the box. We're trying to provide food that mainstream folks can enjoy.
Okay, but the difference is, like in my mind anyway, the difference is that this food is going to actually improve your health.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in this for health reasons. Is that correct? Is that the main reason why you're in this?
Yes, absolutely. So the broader vision that we had, it really includes all of these elements I've mentioned to you. We're going to be leveraging our pod network. We're going to be using this new web platform that we've created to kind of energize them and to begin doing things in their local communities. We have various programs we've created for healthcare providers and work sites. And food is important to all of that. Mm-hmm. And so we had to develop the food in order to be able to implement this broader vision. And it's all about health. It's the only reason that we're doing this.
Okay, well that makes you unique. I think the company unique in my mind anyway, because I feel like in the food business, right, in the food industry, the main goal I'd say of almost everyone out there is just to get you to return to buy their product again. The health, no one's really making any health claims, even if they happen to have the word healthy in their thing. There's no real science behind what they're doing. Like in your case with your dad, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and the science, the evidence-based parts of nutrition and healing disease, that's totally what you guys are about, which is what I think is amazing. And the fact that there are food, I guess almost convenience food items that are available out there these days that fit this description.
Yeah, I agree with all that you just said, Mike. And the other thing I should mention relating to food, and this is something that we're really excited about, is we're getting ready to launch a cooking show. Okay. And this is quite an exciting concept that we've developed. First of all, the quality is going to be very high. We've got great media capability, and we've got some equipment and folks that will enable us to produce this show at a quality that you would see on the Food Network. But what's interesting is that we're going to do it live. Oh. So, we have multiple camera angles. We have equipment that allow us to, in real time, shift between different cameras, but the whole thing will be live. And we're going to do this once a week. It's going to be hosted by my wife, Kim, who's a nationally recognized cookbook author. She's quite well known across the country. She's going to host it. And before every episode, we're going to send to people the grocery list, the recipes, and the meal prep instructions. So they'll be able to slice and dice their vegetables and have them on their own counter in their kitchen, and then cook along with Kim. Okay. And then, we'll have the ability for people to ask questions too. And of course, we'll archive these shows as well.
Right.
And so, if folks are interested in that, they can just go to our website at plantpurenation.com to sign up for that.
All right, sign up. Okay, good.
Yeah.
When they're there, they can also they can, there's some food items to order there as well. Cause I know like right
Yeah.
now with the COVID-19, a lot of people are on quarantine, right? And lockdown. So they can just order this food right now too, in addition to signing up for the cooking show notifications, right?
Yes, they can do all of that at our website at plantpurenation.com, both the food and the cooking show. You know, our long-term mission has always been, you know we need to have food because
Right.
a lot of people are very busy. They don't have time to cook. And so, you know, you always have to have those options in the freezer or the fridge. But it's also important too for people to get their hands dirty a little bit and learn how to cook this food. You know, I've always found that when people do this and they become engaged with the food, you know, it's not just something that they buy but they get their hands dirty and they learn about flavors and textures, they're more likely to stick with it. So it's really a combination of the education and then having those ready-made meals at your disposal for those times when you can't cook, because we're all so busy.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that is very good. And of course, all the food that you talk about through PlantPure is all plant-based. It's all plants, really. Is that correct?
Yeah, all plants. We don't use artificial preservatives and any of that nonsense. It's just, you know, whole food, plant-based, no added oil. Mm-hmm. So it's really healthy. And, you know, right now we do need to be concerned about our health and our immunity. Mm-hmm. In fact, we'll be releasing more information on this in just a bit, but my dad has written a paper on this very topic. Okay. That we'll be releasing here soon.
So like plant foods and boosting your immune system, that type of
yes. Mm-hmm. Very good evidence that, you know, eating this way can have a powerful effect on our immune system.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've talked with so many people recently, and that's the general consensus. I mean, everyone says that, you know, at least for boosting your immune system, you can do some things that are non-food, like good sleep, low stress, aerobic exercise, but then food is probably the biggest impact from what I understand, and choosing the right foods. And that's what you guys are all about, is providing the right food. So I feel like somebody looking to boost their immune system can't go wrong by looking at PlantPure.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's really a good time for everyone to learn about this way of eating and to understand that they have so much more power over their health than the media, our government, industry has ever told them. You know, we have far more control over our health than we've been led to believe.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'm very thankful that your company is out there and you are looking at this from a health perspective, because as I mentioned, I feel like the other companies may have some health component, but they are not health centered like you are. You know, everything that you have is going to be beneficial, or at least not do any harm. Whereas other companies, I don't think I can find another company, well, maybe one or two potentially, but almost all of them would not be able to fit that definition. So I'm glad to see things moving in this direction.
Yeah, it's really the social mission, Mike, that's so important to us. So one thing I haven't mentioned that I should is that in the future, we will be sharing some of our profits with nonprofit organizations. Actually, I know you have a nonprofit, many other people like you doing good work out there, but we're going to be sharing some of our profits with nonprofits who are involved in the movement. And these may be organizations actually who are involved in this web platform that I mentioned that we're going to be introducing here soon. And, you know, we'll be looking for organizations that are doing really innovative things, kind of best practices that others could follow.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to be looking to help support them. And then we have media capability where we're going to be telling their stories, and we'll be streaming that media through our platform as well. So media, we have a lot of ideas for media productions that are part of this platform that I mentioned that will help to educate and inspire this growing pod network. And so, yeah, so all of that's really important to us. And then there are two other part of that social mission is that we leave no one behind. Okay. You know, that's why we've worked for, gosh, almost a year and a half on this meal starter line. We had a preceding line that we did a few years ago, and we didn't really put a lot of effort into that. We didn't really understand it as well as we could have, but we've spent the last almost year and a half working on this new line that I'm so excited about. And our goal is to enable people who are in these underserved areas to be able to prepare a pound of food for $1 to $2 a serving for a pound.
Okay.
And that's our goal.
You mentioned developing this, and you mentioned Kim doing the cooking show. Is Kim also helping to develop these different food products that you have?
Yes. So she's had a heavy hand in all of that. And we have some other folks on staff. We have a former executive from Cisco who's been helpful, and then we've had some other consultants and chefs. But Kim has kind of led the charge on developing our frozen entrees and our meal starters, everything that we're doing in terms of products.
Okay, nice.
So she's been really key in all of that. The other point that, in addition to leaving no one behind, is this environmental connection to the food that we eat is so important. And this is what our nonprofit is engaged in, is trying to raise awareness about this point. Okay. We are, through the nonprofit, we've been funding some research by a well-known climate researcher, and I'm really excited about what he's finding, and he's going to be publishing a couple papers later this year in a leading journal. But he's looking at how much does animal agriculture truly contribute to the warming effect. When you look at greenhouse gas emissions, but also the effects of deforestation, it's enormous. It's far greater than has been communicated in the past. And then he's looking at what would happen if the world went plant-based. How much land would be freed up, and how much of that would naturally reforest to pull carbon down from the atmosphere. It's enormous, Mike. It's far greater. So when he publishes these papers, I think it's going to really change the debate about climate change. This is very important too, because all of us can just simply change what we eat. And in the process, we're saving trees, we're growing trees, we're helping to pull carbon down from the atmosphere, we're helping to clean waterways. And we are also stopping the senseless torture and slaughter of animals,
Of course. Yeah. Also, you mentioned the nonprofit. I saw a Dr. Clapper interview. Actually, Dr. Clapper is one of our consulting physicians with our nonprofit. But he mentioned that your nonprofit, PlantPure Communities, is helping to fund his or some kind of was it Moving Medicine Forward initiative? Is that right?
Yes, we are helping him with his Moving Medicine Forward, and I'm good friends with Dr. Clapper, and I know that you know Dr. Clapper. He's a very kind and gentle soul, and he's very smart, and he's very passionate about this movement. Even at his age, when so many people are kicking back and taking it easy, he's out traveling around from city to city to city, going to all these medical schools to try to educate future doctors about plant-based nutrition. He's really an inspiring man. Yeah,
and just the fact that you all are involved in that with the company, with the nonprofit, it kind of, again, serves to show how much of health is truly the focus of what you're doing. And I don't know of any other company that is into this many aspects of the movement as you are, and all health centered, and it's just great to see. So I really am thankful for that.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate sharing this story with you, and appreciate your offer to come and do this. It's been a long journey for us, and one thing I can say is that the strategy, the overall strategy, has never changed. The ultimate vision. We knew that we needed a grassroots advocacy network. We knew we needed food. We knew we needed education. And, we haven't talked as much about that, but we also have some interesting educational programs. And we knew we needed some kind of a social networking, social action platform to support our local groups. And so we knew we needed all this stuff. It's just taken us a long time because it's there's a lot to it, but now it's all coming together. So hopefully we'll be able to show the fruits of our labors here. Yes.
All businesses tend to take longer than everybody thinks. I know I've been in business my whole life, so I completely understand that. And, I'm just, again, thankful that you all are out there, that you're doing this, and that it's evidence-based, right? You're just trying to communicate this knowledge to people, to get them to reach them in a way that they'll understand, whether that's through their taste buds or through their eyes and ears. And I think it's just a great thing that you're able to do this. And I'm very happy.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike. And again, if you have listeners that are interested in the availability of the food and this awesome cooking show that we're going to be doing, they just need to go to plantpurenation.com. And then also, I don't want to be remiss and leave out the address of our nonprofit, our nonprofit, plantpurecommunities.org, doing a lot of really, really good work. And we have a small but very passionate team in the nonprofit, doing some good work.
Yeah, well, you're definitely doing great work as far as I'm concerned. And anyone following you or eating the food that you have is going to see benefits, especially now as we're recording this with the coronavirus going out there, like we mentioned before. The boosting of your immune system. You guys are about that. You guys are about just getting the word out to everyone, and really, I'd say ultimately allowing everyone to live their best life, right? Because you're going to have more fun. You're going to enjoy life more when you're healthy. If you take away your health, it doesn't matter what else you have. I think anyone suffering severe health issues is going to say that there's nothing more important, right? So you guys are doing it you're doing this for the most important aspect as far as I'm concerned. And I'd say just keep it up, and I'll continue to get the word out as well for what you're doing so that more people can take part.
All right. Well, also, Mike, thanks for all that you're doing. I know that you do these podcasts and you do veg fests, and
yeah,
you're like a tornado of activities. In fact, it's hard to keep up with you in terms of where you're at.
Well, it's slowed down with this shelter in place and types of orders that are going around now. I have to slow down, but now we're taking it more online and just kind of continuing to spread the word about things that you're doing and others are doing. So we're happy to be able to do that, and I think it's a great time to reflect too, and the fact that you have food, the fact that we're talking right at a time when most restaurants have either shut down or all they can do is curbside delivery or curbside or delivery service. That's all they can do if they're even in operation right now. But your food is still available, and your food is healthy. Your food is going to heal people. It's going to allow them to live their best lives. So I think this message is more important than ever right now for people to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and stay tuned as well over the next week or so. Tune into the plantpurecommunities.org website, because we're going to have some information coming out from my father. Okay. That should be interesting to a lot of people.
Well, as soon as we see it, we'll get it out on our social networks as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nelson.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.